For every beloved Stranger Things character that we'd protect with our lives, there's a moment where the show seems dead set on ripping them away from us. And let's be honest, no character has had more terrifyingly close calls, more brushes with the absolute end than 11. Let's rewind all the way back to season 1. We were just getting to know this quiet, mysterious kid with a shaved head and a love for Eggos. We saw her flip a van, we saw her crush a Coke can, but we hadn't really seen the full, terrifying extent of her power and the toll it took on her. That all changed in the finale. The setting is Hawkins Middle School, which has become a war zone. Dr. Brenner and his goons have cornered the kids, and it looks like it's all over. Then Elle steps up. With just a look, she makes the agents' brains bleed. She collapses them from the inside out, saving her friends but completely draining herself in the process. She's already on the brink, passed out from the effort, when the blood from the dead agents does what blood does in Hawkins. It attracts a monster. The Demogorgon smashes through the wall and our collective hearts just plummeted. Brenner gets what's coming to him, and the kids make a run for it to a classroom, but they're trapped. The monster is there, snarling, ready to tear them apart. Mike, Dustin, and Lucas are armed with a slingshot and some rocks, which is like trying to fight a grizzly bear with a pea shooter. It's hopeless. And then, a weakened, exhausted 11 gets up. She stands between her friends and this creature from another dimension. Mike promises her that after all this is over, they can go to the snowball together. He promises her a normal life, a happy moment, something she's never had. She pins the Demogorgon to the chalkboard with her mind, and you can see the power just pouring out of her. Black blood trickling from her nose, her body shaking from the strain. She's pushing herself so far past her limits that it feels like she's going to just burst, and in a way she does. She looks at Mike, her first and only real friend, the boy who gave her a home and showed her kindness, and with tears in her eyes she says, "Goodbye, Mike." Then, with one final, agonizing scream, she unleashes everything she has left. She doesn't just kill the Demogorgon, she completely disintegrates it, atomizes it into nothing, and in the process, she vanishes with it. She sacrifices herself, turning into that same black dust and fading away. At that moment, we all thought she was dead. There was no other explanation. She gave every last ounce of her life force to save the people she loved. It was the most heroic and most tragic end we could imagine for her. Of course, we know now she was just trapped in the Upside Down, but for a good while there, we were mourning the show's most powerful character after only 8 episodes. Fast forward to season 2. Elle is back, living in secret with Hopper in a cabin in the woods. She's grown, she's learning, but she's also a ticking time bomb of psychic energy and teenage angst. The whole season builds up to another world-ending threat, and once again, 11 is the only one who can stop it. The Mind Flayer has opened a massive gate to our world beneath Hawkins' lab, and it's using Will as its spy. The plan is simple but terrifying. Elle has to go down there and close it. This isn't just fighting one monster in a classroom. This is like trying to slam a door on a hurricane. Accompanied by Hopper, she descends into the heart of the infection. When they finally reach the gate, it's a pulsating, horrifying wound in reality, and on the other side, the shadow monster itself, the Mind Flayer, materializes to face her. It's a literal god of its dimension, and she's just a teenage girl. Hopper is there with a rifle, which is basically useless. It all comes down to her. She's just reconnected with her mother, met her sister Callie, and learned to channel her anger and pain into her powers. She thinks about Brenner, about all the people who hurt her, and she unleashes a torrent of psychic energy. The force is so immense that she starts to levitate off the ground, screaming as she pushes back against this cosmic entity. The lights all over Hawkins flicker and glow, a sign of the sheer power being exerted. The Mind Flayer pushes back, sending a tendril of shadow reaching for her, and for a second, it looks like it might overwhelm her. It feels like her body could just rip apart from the strain. When she finally succeeds, slamming the gate shut and severing the Mind Flayer's connection, she collapses, completely spent. Hopper has to catch her and carry her out. She survived, but it was another instance where she pushed her body and mind to the absolute breaking point, coming within an inch of being consumed or just completely burning out. Then came season 3, which honestly felt like a contest to see how many different ways they could almost kill 11. The first major brush with death comes at Hopper's cabin. The Mind Flayer is back, but this time it's not a shadow in the sky. It has a physical body, a grotesque monster made from the melted down bodies of the flayed, and it's coming for Elle. The attack on the cabin is one of the most intense sequences in the entire series. It's claustrophobic and relentless. The monster is tearing the house apart, and the group is just barely holding it off. A fleshy tendril bursts through the wall and wraps around 11's ankle, trying to drag her out. The image of Mike, Max, Lucas, Will, and Nancy all grabbing onto her, playing a horrifying game of tug-of-war with this creature, is seared into my brain. They're all that's standing between her and being absorbed into this biomass of horror. They manage to sever the tendril with an axe, but a piece of it is left behind, wriggling and embedding itself in her leg. It's a direct physical wound, a piece of the Upside Down's poison now literally inside her. This leads directly to the next near-death experience in the Starcourt Mall. That piece of the mind flayer in her leg is alive. It's moving. The infection is spreading, and it's clear that if they don't get it out, it will kill her or turn her. Jonathan tries to perform amateur surgery with a heated knife, but the pain is too much. She's screaming, and everyone is panicking. This is where it gets really bad. Her powers have been flickering, and now when she needs them most, they seem to be failing. But she has no choice. In an act of sheer will and desperation, she reaches into her own leg with her powers and rips the parasitic creature out herself. The scream she lets out is primal. It's a moment of incredible strength, but also incredible vulnerability. She could have bled out. The shock could have killed her. She used her powers on her own body, a feat that must have taken a toll we can't even comprehend. And the worst part? The effort seems to completely short-circuit her abilities, leaving her powerless for the final showdown. Which brings us to the climax of the season. Without her powers, Eleven is just a kid. A very brave kid, but a kid nonetheless. And now she's the primary target of two of the Mind Flayer's most powerful servants. First, Billy corners them in the mall. He's got superhuman strength, and he easily knocks out Mike and Max, leaving Elle completely defenseless. He picks her up and carries her to the center of the mall, offering her up to the giant spider monster like a sacrifice. This is a different kind of terror. She can't fight back. There's no psychic energy to save her. She can only watch as the monster looms over her, its disgusting mouth tendril preparing to impale her and make her part of the hive mind. She is literally seconds from death. The only things that save her are the rest of the group creating a distraction with fireworks and then her own empathy. As Billy holds her down, she uses the information she gleaned from his mind earlier, reminding him of his mother, of a happy memory on a beach. She reaches the human part of him buried under the Mind Flayer's control. It's this connection, this emotional appeal that brings him back just long enough for him to sacrifice himself to save her. But if you thought Season 3 was rough, Season 4 decided to hold its beer. This season tormented Elle mentally, physically, and emotionally. The most obvious near-death experience comes from the Nina Project. To get her powers back, she has to subject herself to Brenner's twisted form of therapy, reliving the most traumatic event of her life, the Hawkins Lab massacre. Sam Owens himself warns Brenner that this could be catastrophic. He says pushing her this hard could break her mind, fracture her psyche, or even kill her. And we see it happening. She's screaming, thrashing, her vitals going haywire as she's forced to confront these horrifying memories. This ends in the big reveal. She wasn't the killer. She was the one who stopped the killer, Henry Creel, also known as One, also known as Vecna. The memory of their psychic duel is the most intense power-on-power fight we've seen. He is older, more experienced, and utterly ruthless. He easily gains the upper hand, breaking her bones in the memory and nearly killing her. He has her pinned, gloating about how he's going to reshape the world. It's a moment of total defeat. She's about to be snuffed out by the very first of her kind. What saves her is a memory of her mother's love, the one pure, happy memory she has. She channels that love into her power and unleashes a blast so strong it not only defeats him, but tears a hole in reality. She opens the very first gate to the Upside Down and banishes him into it, where he is struck by lightning and transformed into the monster he is today. The physical toll of this act is insane. Blood is pouring from her nose and eyes, the lights in the lab are exploding, and she collapses. This act of creation and destruction, of opening a portal to another dimension, was so violent that it's a miracle it didn't just tear her apart atom by atom. And that brings us to the finale of Season 4. Even though she's thousands of miles away, Elle finds a way to fight Vecna by piggybacking into Max's mind. She creates a makeshift sensory deprivation tank and a Surfer Boy pizza freezer, iconic, and enters the mental plane to protect her friend. But she's walking into the lion's den. This is Vecna's world, his mindscape, and here, he is a god. He quickly overpowers her, mocking her and her friend's efforts. He traps her in vines made of psychic energy, forcing her to watch as he begins to brutally murder Max. The psychic feedback alone from witnessing that, from being psychically bound and helpless, could have been enough to shatter her mind. Vecna explicitly tells her he's saving her for last. He wants her to see everything she loves die before he finally kills her. She is once again powerless, trapped, and forced to watch the horror unfold. It's Mike's confession of love that gives her the strength to break free. In a truly epic moment, she stops Vecna just before he can finish Max. She holds him back with her power, but the fight is far from over. She's in Nevada, fighting a battle in Max's mind in Hawkins, against a monster whose physical body is in the Upside Down being attacked by her other friends. The strain of it all is unimaginable, and even though she wins by stopping him from killing Max at that exact moment, the cost is devastating. Max's heart stops. She dies. Clinically, for over a minute. Elle in the Void refuses to accept it. She places her hands on Max's chest and uses her powers in a way we've never seen before, seemingly restarting her heart and pulling her back from the brink of death. We don't know the rules of this kind of power. Bringing someone back from the dead, that has to have a price. It's another moment where she taps into something so profound and primal that it could have easily consumed her in the process. She poured her own life force into her friend, and it's a miracle it didn't take them both. So these have been all of the times Eleven almost died in Stranger Things, all the way from her first big sacrifice until the end of season 4. Which of these near-death experiences hit you the hardest and had you screaming at your screen? Let us know in the comments below. And if you want to see more Stranger Things content and theories, click the video on screen now.